Hi, my name is Evis Shurdha, and I'm a PhD candidate from European University of Tirana. I'm actually a public procurement lecturer in this university, and my topic for this conference is compliance of public procurement legislation with EU standards in the Balkan countries, the cases of Croatia, Romania, and Albania. Uh, Public procurement is essential for governance, transparency, and economic growth. EU integration requires harmonization of national procurement laws, and in these cases, Croatia, Romania, and Albania, we will mention the development of public procurement in these countries and the compliance with EU procurement standards. The hypothesis is alignment with EU standards improves efficiency and transparency. The importance of public procurement in EU integrations is because it ensures efficient use of public funds, promotes open and fair competition, reduces corruption and enhances transparency, and is the key factor in economic development and governance reform. Here are the main directives of public procurement. That means that are the caterpillars of the public procurement legislation, which are the first directive of public sector, the second of utility sector, the concessions, and defense and security directives. That means this is all the legislation that regulates the public procurement in European Union. Croatia joined the European Union in 2013 and has since then overhauled its public procurement regime to be in line with EU directives. According to the European Commission Croatia Country Report, Croatia's progress is aligning procurement legislation with EU standards, in particularly evident through transparency, competition, and non-discrimination. Although can be considered as a successful model of public procurement practices. However, challenges remain in enforcement and administrative capacity, as noted by the European Commission on its latest report. That means that the main challenges are implementation and administrative capacity issues, innovation procurement still in early stages, and lack of an action plan for fostering procurement-driven innovation. In Romania, a member of EU since 2007, as a country which still needs to reform its public procurement laws with EU regulations. The Commission's country report on this country states that although significant progress has been made by the country in aligning its procurement laws with those of the EU, corruption and inefficiency of procurement laws still remains. The document urges increased institutional capacity and transparency for full compliance with the EU standards. Some of the challenges are a limited policy support for strategic technologies, low use of value for money criteria, and competition issues reducing opportunities for innovative solutions. Part of the paper is also Albania, still a candidate country for EU membership, that has been actively working to align its procurement legislation with EU rules in anticipation of its eventual EU accession. According to the European Commission in 2020, Albania's report, the country has made significant strides in improving transparency and competition in public procurement process. However, challenges related to corruption and the need for more effective implementation mechanism remain key concerns, as well as the role of vested interest in decision-making processes. With the comparison of Croatia, Romania, and Albania in the field of public procurement legislation, Croatia has the best alignment with EU innovation policies. Meanwhile, Romania has limited innovation but improving procurement staff professionalization. Albania leads the digitalization progress, but challenges in enforcement and corruption. Need for enhanced competition and stronger policy frameworks. The first step towards the EU integration or membership is the Stabilization and Association Agreements, SAA, which also Albania had signed it from 2006, and Croatia and Romania as members of the EU has had it in those integration process. And the aim or the scope of this agreement is the legal framework for aligning with EU standards and to make sure that the transparency, the non-discrimination, and fair competition are part of the legislation. That means that it grants EU companies equal access to the public procurement markets. Innovation in public procurement in this country is very crucial. Croatia has adopted value for money criteria, but also lacks innovation incentive. Romania lags behind in strategic innovation procurement, but Albania has potential for digital procurement advancements, but lacks informants. Public procurement is overseen by European Union mechanism through reports and cooperation, and also through institutions that takes part in those areas. Also, digital procurement portals in all three countries have improved transparency. Croatia and Romania have EU-level informants mechanism, but Albania is still developing. Meanwhile, the recommendation for Croatia are to strengthen implementation mechanism, to develop an action plan for procurement-driven innovation, to enhance institutional capacity for informants. Also, for Romania, is to address corruption in large-scale procurement projects, to increase use of value for money criteria, and to improve strategic innovation policies in procurement. While for Albania, that is yet a candidate for EU membership, is to strengthen enforcement of procurement regulation, to address corruption risk in large-scale projects, and to improve institutional oversight and governance frameworks. European integration will require further harmonization. That means we'll need greater emphasis on innovation-driven procurement and will increase the process of digitalization and transparency to mitigate corruption. This is the future outlook of public procurement in the Balkans. Thank you for your patience and